Hey, ladies and gentlemen, back here at Temple Ruins. I guess the Temple Ruins stuff. No, let's see. This is actually the same day I've been recording from the previous part. Previous part's day. These levels can be a little freaky sometimes. It's a mixture of the old graphics along with the music and just the dark atmosphere. But you know, that's just the way it goes. It's meant to kind of be unsettling in some ways. Let's see. Oh crap. Let's see here. And oh, okay, that one didn't give much of a warning there. Oh well, guess I'm not getting the gym. Anyway, let's see. So, one thing I forgot to mention in the previous part was the Crash, the Game Boy Advance Crash games, like the first two at least. Those were actually pretty decent. They actually managed to make Crash Bandicoot feel like on the game, like a side-scrolling primarily Crash Bandicoot game was primarily side-scrolling is what I'm trying to say. They managed to make it feel like a normal Crash game. I mean, just without the 3D parts. That's because the first three games have a lot of side-scrolling. Oh, well, I was gonna get off there, but I guess I was too slow. Just bring me back. Thank you. I forgot they did that. But yeah, they did a pretty good job with the Game Boy Advance Crash games. Because there's a lot of side-scrolling moments. I will say that these games have done a better job at switching the side-scrolling. Wow. At least I got the checkpoint right there. These games have done a better job at switching the side-scrolling from going forward to side to side. Better than the Sonic Boost Formula games. I have to say that. I mean, because with the Sonic games, the controls will suddenly switch up, and you have to all of a sudden get the feeling of By the way, that was a little secret there that I didn't know about until more recent years. But there's a but yeah, I think they did a better job than Sonic Boost Formula games, which I do sort of still like the Sonic Boost Formula games, but I definitely prefer ones where you have a little more freedom. I know they sort of attempted that with Sonic Lost World, but they still managed to make it feel like a hallway, almost even more than like Sonic Generations. But this game does a better job because you're not going as quickly, and the controls are still the same, and you could use the D-pad to move around whenever you're side-scrolling, which you don't have to, but... Well, of course, in this game it was required, because unless you played on PSP or something. But this game it was required because the joysticks were not on the PlayStation controllers just yet when this came out. But yeah, I think that these did a better job at doing that than the Sonic Boost Formula games. So the fact that they were still doing that for like some of the future games, like okay, with Forces. My thing about Forces is Sonic Forces is okay. Leading up to the release, you've got a lot of people saying, "Well, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad." Which I may have trusted them if they didn't bash a lot of the good Sonic games as well. If they didn't bash those, I might have been believing them a little more. If they were actually more fair with Sonic reviews, which a lot of people are not nowadays, a lot of the bigger YouTubers are not. I probably would have believed them a little more, because they talk about how great Colors and Generations was, which they were great. Well, at least Generations. But when Sonic Forces was announcing they were going back to the boost formula, like, I don't want that now. Which I can understand. Maybe they got enough of it in Unleashed, Colors, and Generations. But, you know, still kind of, there's still some irony there. But, like, you know, they were begging for it back. And when it came back, they didn't want it. And then they were constantly talking about how the Forces is gonna suck and everything, and how the new custom hero is gonna be dumb, and Sonic, or classic Sonic being in there was kind of shoehorned in. Well, I didn't believe them. Like, I had to do it for myself because they've said some crap about good Sonic games as well. So I figured, well, that must mean that this game is going to be better than what they're saying, which it did. Okay, like. Long story short, whenever I played it, I realized it really wasn't all that great, which I honestly wasn't as excited for it as, like, other games that came out this year, but I was still sort of excited for it. I was like, it's a new mainline Sonic game. There hasn't been one since Lost World, and Lost World was okay, in my opinion. But it was. I was hoping that it would be the next best Sonic game since Generations, and it kind of let me down because even though they said they spent like 4 years in development on it, it still felt kind of rushed. It wasn't very glitchy. There's a very few glitches I've run into, but yet somehow they still managed to make it feel like it was rushed. Now I have heard that they were kind of working on a semi-new boost formula thing, like a new engine. They call it the Hedgehog Engine 2 or something like that, 2.0. I love doing this right. Oh, no, not that right there. Oh yeah, that's right. If you die, you can't save it. You have to start over the level if you want to save it. That was a really frustrating thing, but people were still starting to sort of get out of you know, save, or like this one had a password but also a save feature. It's just the save feature isn't as good. But let's see, what was it? But yeah, Sonic Forces, it just didn't do as well. I think it could have been better. I think it could have been a lot better than it did. It's just they didn't do it right. They didn't learn the right lessons from Sonic Generations and Colors, from what they did well in those games. Well, Generations at least. I thought that Sonic Colors are just okay or something like that. But it was like you know. If it disappointed me, I couldn't imagine how it was gonna be for all these overreactors to these problems. And of course, there's some that were like, it's okay, and there's some that were like, it's garbage. It's garbage. It's awful. No good. But you know, it's not garbage. I still think it's good, just not great. Could have been a lot better. I was disappointed, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's good. But I know that you got these. Though I would say that I couldn't recommend it to anyone more than a Sonic fan. Like if you're a fan of Sonic, you might like it. You might not like it as much as some others, but you might like it. Especially everything around the gameplay basically was like pretty good. Almost everything around the gameplay. Like the gameplay itself was okay at best. It was way too easy and way too fast. Basically, I beat it the day I got it. And I didn't, you know, and this is going into something. I know I might be beating this. Like I beat Frogger 2 the day I started playing it on this channel, which was yesterday. And I might be beating this game today. if I play through it enough. But I know these games really well. They're still semi-short, but I know these games so well that I can beat it so fast. Not that I'm 100%ing it, but Sonic Forces, I went in not knowing the level designs and everything, and I beat it the day I got it. It still took me a while, but I also took a few breaks here and there. So, seems like the campaign's about calling the main story a campaign just sounds kind of weird for Sonic for some reason. I beat the main game, basically the main game in like I don't know how many hours, a few hours, like 2 or 3 hours altogether. And that was, like I said, not knowing the level designs very well. But it's because I hardly died. We also don't have any lives in the game. Okay, I think my theory is correct. You can still get the gems after dying once, but that's before you get a... You know, assuming you get all the boxes. You can still get all the boxes and without dying, but as long as you only die at the beginning of the level before you do get the checkpoints. After you get the checkpoints, that's when it really starts counting. So, I learned something today there. Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Vista. Sunset Overdrive. I need to play that sometime. It's a decent game. I mean, after you beat it, it doesn't really feel like there's much to do afterwards. There is stuff to do. It's just,